Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steel Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Rivero from SteelSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, David Coro. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Dave, your boy's on fire. Out of the two confirmed offensive coordinator interviews we have so far, they were both on my list. You can check that list out on my site, SteelSanctuary.com. The two other guys, we've heard rumors Zach Robinson and Cliff Kingsbury are going to be interviewed, but they haven't yet. The two official ones are Thomas Brown and Jared Johnson. Um, Kind of feels like they're kind of buying time until they get to the real interviews. I don't know about you. Both guys are good candidates. Don't get me wrong. I think Thomas Brown especially, but I don't know.
I can't tell you how excited I am that these are the guys they're going after.
I
Like,
know. I know.
I, I was so scared, bro. I was so
You and
scared
me
that
both.
they weren't
You and
going
me
to go
both.
this route, and then all of a sudden you're just like, holy crap, they're going after all the guys from all the trees that you want them to. The McVay trees, the Shanahan. I think the one guy's connected to Shanahan and McVay.
Uh,
Gerard, I think.
Jared Johnson. Yeah, he was also a quarterback for the Steelers. Did you know that?
Is
Like,
that the same guy? Holy shit!
yeah, yeah. He never actually played in the
Wow.
game, but he did play.
Right.
I believe he played in a preseason game. He was definitely on a preseason roster. Yeah, I think
That's
he's had
crazy.
both.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, yep, yep. It's funny how those connections end up coming around.
It is.
You can't help but be encouraged by this. I mean, how many times did I say I was afraid it was going to be, Mike Sullivan or Eddie Faulkner
Yeah.
as the candidates all season long? That was my biggest fear, and I'm glad that didn't come true. Um, so yeah, this is exciting, man. I wonder if they're waiting for a couple of 49ers guys to finish up their season before they start interviewing them.
I would say so. If they've only actually interviewed two, right? Then they could be waiting. Maybe they take their time with this. They want to make sure they get the right guy. I mean, I I don't know. I hope they give like Clint Kubiak a chance to
Yeah,
interview. Like, wait,
that's the
interview,
hot
give
name
him a
that
shot.
everybody wants. Yeah,
But
the
I'm still happy. Like either way, like these are all encouraging names and encouraging trees they come
yes,
from. I honestly wasn't excited at first about the guy that's with the Panthers.
Thomas Brown. Yeah, yep.
Thomas Brown. Yeah, like I wasn't excited at first. I was like, they were a disaster. Like, why in the world would they? And
Yeah,
then I started like reading about it, and I was like, oh shit. I was like,
yeah.
okay.
The
I almost
Panthers are
felt
a
like
shit show.
Shaq. I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game. Like one of those one of those
Yeah, yeah,
things. I
yep.
was like, shit. Okay, all right, yeah. So, but yeah, no. So I'm just encouraged. But it's really strange. Like Tomlin made the comment that he was looking for someone with offensive coordinator experience, but some of these guys that they're saying that they're interested in do not have offensive coordinator
Yeah.
experience.
That's why I did the second list because after he said that, I'm like, oh shoot. Like half the guys on
Yeah.
my first list didn't have any offensive coordinator experience. I'm like, I gotta go redo this, but we'll see. I mean,
So do you think that like maybe after he said that like Khan or Weidel or both maybe were like, whoa, Mike, let's pump the brakes there on that. Let's
it's possible.
you
I
know
think he kind of answered that question without thinking, is what I get a feeling. It's like it was like a throwaway question. It felt like, and I think we in the media and stuff read into it a little bit too much. It's like define experience. I mean, does it have to be offensive coordinator experience? Does it have to be, calling play experience or coaching
I mean
quarterback experience? Who knows what
I
he
mean
meant? You know,
I
it
don't
was
know. I
kind of,
mean, I thought he literally said, offensive coordinator experience, but I,
um,
yeah, I
I don't
could have
remember the
sworn.
question. You might be right.
I'm pretty sure it's what he said. He said he wanted one with offensive coordinator experience because the last two have not. Fickner and Kenda didn't have any.
Yeah.
So I, I took it as the guy's done with the whole. But look,
Yeah.
like I said, maybe he was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not looking for what I would want. I need to look for, what are people going after? These other teams are going after now. What's the
Yeah.
now? I think I'm hoping Coach Mike Sullivan. Like I really
Yeah.
hope so.
And he did
Because
say he wanted to learn stuff. So maybe he's just,
yeah,
picking brains of these guys because they're the young, hot
and that's
candidates and
exciting. It's
trying to figure
exciting that
out.
we're
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
willing to learn new stuff because it's what he needs. Maybe it sounds like he's sick of mediocrity too now. Maybe
let's hope so.
finally
Let's hope
we're
so.
we're done with the whole 17 winning seasons or what. Maybe we're finally fed up with this shit, and I don't know, whatever.
My fear is that let's hope they don't wait too long. They already lost out on the guy from Seattle who ended up going to
Waldron.
Waldron. They
Yeah.
This guy Zach Robinson is the favorite to go to the Falcons with Raheem Morris now.
I saw a list. He's already gone. Like some guy
Yeah.
had a listed, and he already said went to Falcons. It was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
if
So
he's not
I
there
don't.
yet, he's probably going there. So yeah, look, we'll see. I mean, this is the way they did the assistant general manager job too. The general manager job, as a matter of fact, they interviewed a lot of people.
Yeah.
They covered a lot of bases before they made the decision. So let's hope they ended up going in house for the general manager. Let's hope they don't go through all this and end up going in house with like Eddie Faulkner. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. I don't know. That's like did you see that shit that Andrew Filipponi floated with oh man, what was it? Like Arthur Smith and what's his name?
Munchak as a
Munchak
team.
being a package deal. And I'm like, is that a thing? Like, are they friends or something? Am I missing something here? Like,
Munchak was the head coach when he first got hired as tight ends coach with the Titans.
okay.
Or not even the tight end. I think it was just a offensive assistant. So yeah, they have some kind of connection.
Okay, because I didn't realize that. I was just like, I don't understand. Why is this a package deal? Like, what are we talking about? It's just one of Filipponi's dumbass shit that he usually comes up with.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Would you take that?
I would.
Would you?
Well, let me backtrack on that.
I was
don't
gonna
know
say, really?
because
sure about that?
Munchak's been out of the league. That worries me when coordinators and coaches leave the league and try to come back. That kind of they kind of fall behind of what's going on. And then I kind of like Arthur Smith, but I kind of don't.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a little bit more progressive, modern coach than Art.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like, I'm like, when I saw it, I was just like, no,
Yeah.
no. I'd rather have the new modern shiny
Yeah.
toy. Like, no, I'm good.
I mean, he did pretty well with the Titans as the OC. He was
did.
a very
He
hot
did.
candidate at the time when he got the Falcons job. So I don't know. We'll
It's
see.
not that I don't. It's not that I don't like think that highly of him. It's just he just doesn't fit what I want.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want one of these passing game gurus to come in here and revolutionize this offense. That's what I want.
And the thing you can't get out of your mind is he's the head coach of the Falcons and he's got all these shiny toys, first round picks, great players, Bijan Robinson, all these guys, and never gave him the ball.
And that's a great point. They drafted the tight end. Oh God, that's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah,
the tight end they drafted.
Yeah, I know.
Can't think of, yeah, and just a waste. They never used
even Bijan Robinson, their first round pick running back, who was freaking phenomenal. They didn't give him the ball that often. It's like, I don't know what he was doing down there in Atlanta.
Very strange. I mean, if this is supposed to be an offensive, minded guy, like you couldn't get any more creative than what you did there. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm good. Just please go get one of these other guys.
I could see it happening though. I could see Arthur Smith being the choice when all's said and done. He's a semi-conservative guy, and you know how Tomlin
it's a Tomlin pick.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes. I just think that it feels like there's been more power given to Khan.
Let's hope so.
And maybe Weidl in this situation. I don't know. I don't want to take credit away from speculation, Tomlin, but I just, when the guy says one thing and now they're doing another, it's like, that's kind of interesting.
It's true. All right. Speaking of Mike Sullivan, he's become a little bit of a hot commodity too. He has interviews with the Raiders and the Saints for offensive coordinators for both those teams. That's kind of strange to me too.
I saw somebody say something like Mason saved Sullivan's career or something.
Maybe.
And and you think about it and you're like, well, maybe people thought, you know what, he did take over. They did put up 30-something points for a couple games. I don't know. I don't know if
he's done it before.
Yeah. maybe there is something there with him. But I mean, I'm glad that they want him because I don't want him.
Yeah, if he wanted to stay the quarterbacks coach, that would be fine with me. But I want something different for OC for sure. I want a new
Well,
face.
that game against Buffalo, that felt very Canada-esque
A
the
little
way he
bit.
was calling plays. So I was just like, yeah, I'm done with you. Like
That's the thing,
so
Dave. Are we going to get an offensive coordinator that's going to be able to call plays without Mike Tomlin over his shoulder? You say it's Matt Canada. I say it's Mike Tomlin saying be conservative, keep us close. That's the thing that scares me. I hope they hire somebody with a little bit of a little bit of balls.
yeah. No,
Let's hope.
I mean, if they're going to interview the guy from that just left the Panthers, I mean, that guy they call him Mike Tomlin at like light or whatever.
Yep, he's been called that.
So that seems to me like a guy that's not going to, he's if he would come in, he's not going to be just lay down for Mike Tomlin. Like I would like to think that, and if Mike Tomlin's willing to learn things, that seems to me that he would be more receptive to loosening the reins on the offensive play calling to a guy that
Hope so.
that knows, basically what he's fucking doing when it
Yeah,
comes to
exactly.
offense. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so I would think that he'd be more, willing to do that. But I don't know. You're right. Well, it's hard to tell.
When I was doing my research for that article, the Panthers guys would quote all kinds of quotes about Thomas Brown, how blown away they were, how he interviewed and how smart he was, and how much his shit was together. And one of
Yeah,
them literally called him possibly the next Mike Tomlin. So
yeah, which is
that sounds
awesome.
kind of exciting to
So
me. A guy that's been under McVay, who's sharp and interviews well, and seems to know what he's doing. I would that wouldn't bother me if he was the next OC.
right.
What else we got? What's been kind of weird about this round of there's a lot of things weird about this round of head coach interviews. I was thinking about this today. Brian Flores, not one single interview for 6, 7 jobs. That's kind of surprising to me. He did pretty well as the DC in Minnesota this year.
Well, I I think he's got kind of a. I mean, I don't want to. I don't know how to put this without just saying it. Kind of like a questionable mark on him because of everything that happened in Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to say that, but like you're sorry, it makes me wonder. I mean, this
Well,
guy's
dude,
a hell of a coach. Like, what the hell?
there's no doubt he might not even be in the league right now if Mike Tomlin doesn't throw him that olive branch and put him on
Yeah,
the staff because
yeah.
he's suing the league. I don't know what the status is of that lawsuit, but as
I
far as
thought
I
they
know, it's
settled.
still going. He
I thought
settled.
they settled. I thought they
I
did. Maybe
haven't
they
heard
didn't.
it honestly.
But I just that guy's a hell of a coach. Like,
He is.
I
The
don't know
one knock
why
on
in the
him
world.
is he couldn't get the offensive coordinator right. He hired and fired like I want to say 2 or 3 coordinators in his
Yeah.
3 years there. So, but I mean, yeah, I'm honestly surprised because we know how good of an influence on the team he was and a good coach he was when he was here. And he went to Minnesota with that crappy defense and did a pretty good job there too. Kind of surprising. Just
Is
thought
it
that
the
was
is it the defensive thing too? Because
that
Belichick's
might be
not the
part of it
not
too. That's
Belichick's not the favorite either in
let's get
Atlanta
to.
now.
I was gonna no, it's done. They hired Raheem Morris today, so
Oh,
he's
that's
not
right.
getting
They
me that.
did. They did. So I,
Yeah,
I
there's 2 jobs left in Belichick. This is shocking to me, Dave.
yeah,
This is a 6-time Super Bowl winning coach, and nobody
right.
wants him.
I know.
Nobody wants him.
It's one of them things, man. Like I said, I mean the guy's what, 75, 80? And
70s, and he's in his 70s, early 70s, I think.
and
Yeah.
he's a defensive guy, and I just don't think people are looking for that.
It
Teams are
blows my mind,
realizing,
bro.
yeah, but teams are realizing, like, if you want to be the Chiefs, the Bills, one, I'm drawing blanks here. You want to be like those teams, the Rams and the 49ers. Like, if you want to be like those teams, going and getting a 75, 80-year-old guy, it's all defensive minded. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to work out for you. So,
I'll tell you
but
what, Dave.
there's some that are ignoring that. I mean, Raheem Morris is a defensive minded guy,
Yeah, but he's a young guy, and
but
he's
young
yeah,
and has connections to the guys that know what they're doing on
yeah,
offense.
has he's a on the
So,
McVay. Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
So that's probably what they're thinking. They're probably thinking they can get best of both worlds by going that route.
Man, I'll tell you what. If I'm the Buffalo Bills and I can't get over the fucking hump, I'm firing my coach and hiring Bill Belichick
Yeah,
tomorrow. Oh yeah, dude,
really.
that coach is what
But
the
he's
hell's
a
the Bills coach?
McDermott.
McDermott. He's a
But he,
freaking
but
he's a
but he's
clusterfuck.
but he's an old defensive guy. That's the point.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't,
no.
you can't win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen and Bill Belichick. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Let Josh Allen do his thing on offense and let Bill Belichick fix the defense. You're in the Super Bowl, man. They're making a big mistake.
I mean, yeah, that's a great argument. Like, is it defense or the offense underperforming? Which is it?
It's
So,
usually the defense. Remember the Kansas City game in the playoffs where they
okay,
couldn't hold them?
and you're not wrong, but let's remember how many injuries they had also on
Yeah,
that defense. They had a shit ton.
they did
They're,
this
they
time.
were
This
on
time around,
they were
yes.
they were on middle linebacker like 4. They were almost as bad as us going into that Chiefs game. So that's why I chose the Chiefs to win. I was like, Mahomes against those like third and fourth string middle linebackers on top of them missing their top corner too. I was like, yeah, it's not gonna go well, and it didn't. So I don't know. I don't know how much I can blame that on the coach. It's just like we talk about with Terrell Austin.
Yeah,
It's the same thing. How much of that is just how many injuries they had too. So, but I don't know. If I'm Buffalo, honestly,
I jump in.
I'm going young guru because it's not working out with the defensive minded guy.
Yeah, but it's
Is there another level that you can get Josh Allen to? Is there another level you can get that offense to?
Josh Allen's at the top of the heap, dude. Maybe
I
just
I
get a
know, but
coach to
the
not,
turnovers
yeah,
are
not
pretty
get him not to
bad.
turn over the
Like,
ball.
so,
Maybe,
I'm just saying. I think that's the problem in Buffalo is they got a defensive guy, and they don't, and they lost the offensive coordinator they had when what's his
the
name went to the
Giants,
Giants.
Dayball, yep.
So let's think about that. The downtrend since then. So yeah, I think if I was Buffalo, I would go more. I think that, I mean, God bless Tomlin for finally wanting to change his ways for real.
Yeah.
Or at least we think. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
but still TBD.
Yeah.
TBD. He's
So,
talking a good game right now, but
but
it
yeah,
just amazes me. Another team like the Cowboys, you can't get over the hump. You got a talented team. If I'm the owner, I'm going to get Bill Belichick and taking a shot. You're probably right. You don't want a young team that needs to build with Bill Belichick because what's he got? 2-3 seasons left in him. But if you're on that level where you're almost there, but you can't get over the hump, I don't know, man. It boggles my mind that you wouldn't go get Belichick.
I
And try
mean,
to,
if you're a team where you're like, okay, we lack a lot of discipline, like just so many mistakes. That's Belichick's thing. Belichick's thing
Buffalo,
is
that's Buffalo, dude. And this
cross.
is
I mean,
Cowboys too.
right. Well, I was thinking more the Cowboys, like the crossing
Yeah,
the T's, dotting the I's. Like if they're an undisciplined team, you bring a disciplinarian, and maybe then shit gets done. But I just so old school minded and not with the new. And do you think he communicates well with those players? Do you think that I don't know if he's the kind of guy that's going to adapt to getting through to these kids nowadays.
yeah.
Just say, I just don't see it. But Richard Krikorian put on here. He said Bill probably doesn't interview too well.
Well,
You know what? So if it's like he does his interviews to the media, you're right.
but who's interviewing Bill Belichick? Who's asking him questions that he doesn't know?
Could you imagine?
He just shows up to the interview with 6 rings and puts it on the table.
I know. Could you imagine though, like in an interview, they're like, "So, would you be willing to adapt to a new way of doing an offense?" And he just goes, "Sure."
Yeah, something like
And
that.
that's all he
sure.
says.
Yeah,
It
would be more like no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that.
No.
I think the problem with him overall is he wants total control. And I don't know if any of these teams want to give up total control. Like he wants to be the GM.
Oh, he wants to be everything.
Coach. He wants it all, and that's one of the big problems too. Before we get into the coaching hires, I want to talk a little bit about that. I think we talked about Gerald Alexander last week. He actually got a job. He's a DB coach for the Raiders now. I didn't realize he was going to be a hot commodity this offseason either, but apparently he was.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch who.
Gerald Alexander. He's the one that was going to interview with the Patriots as DC, right? And then he took the Raiders defensive backs coach, so he's in along with the Steelers.
Hey, this is apparently the Tomlin tree. We'll see how he does.
All of a sudden, sprouting branches. All of a sudden,
waiting almost 2 decades, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Of all these coaches, and I'll go through them all. The Panthers hired Dave Canales, Tampa Bay offensive coordinator, which I thought was surprising. The
Yeah.
Falcons hired Raheem Morris, which I thought was a good hire. Titans hired Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan. That's interesting.
Yeah,
And
I know.
and then the big one, the Chargers got Jim Harbaugh, which is a problem for the AFC and a problem for the Steelers. I'm telling you, that's one less playoff spot next year. Jim Harbaugh is gonna have that team a contender
Yeah,
next season.
I didn't think that negatively of Harbaugh when he was in the NFL. When he was coaching the 49ers,
Oh, he's a great
I
coach, dude.
I thought he did really well. Like it went I don't even think it went south. I don't know. I can't remember again why he left to go.
He got into disagreement with the general manager over control of the team,
Okay.
and he went to
Okay.
Michigan.
So I I think he's going to do really well. And
Oh, he's gonna
finally,
kill it there.
the Chargers are going to be yeah. No, I think they made the right move. Uh, and they're definitely going to do a lot better. Am I willing to say right off the bat they're going to take another playoff spot gone? I don't know. The
I
AFC
think
is
so.
such a juggernaut of a conference. You just don't know,
Absolutely.
man. With injuries and everything else, I when we go to predict this next year's like playoff
It's gonna be
teams,
tough. It's gonna be tough.
damn near
The
better off
AFC.
flipping a fucking coin. Like,
Just the AFC West alone, you got Sean Payton, you got Jim Harbaugh, and Andy Reid.
right? Like
Holy crap, man!
holy crap.
And we don't
Yeah,
even
it's
know who the
tough.
Seahawks. Say the Seahawks hired Belichick.
Right.
What a freaking murderer's row. Another guy who hasn't been hired, by the way, throwing Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another good coach.
Yeah.
We still got two jobs left, the Commanders
And I
and the
think
Seahawks, so we'll see.
he's gonna get, did he get an interview with one of these teams?
I want to say he did.
I want to say he did too. I can't remember which one, but
Was it the Falcons? It might have been the Falcons that he had an interview
it
with.
might have been.
Um, that's a good. If anybody's, the Commanders have been quiet. Have they? I don't even know if who they've interviewed so far. I'm sure they have, but I just haven't heard anybody. Oh,
Like I
didn't they?
said,
Didn't they do the enemy we talked about?
the
Yeah.
enemy was one I knew of,
Yep.
and then maybe it was Vrabel that interviewed that. I can't remember who Vrabel interviewed with, but yeah, he did interview with somebody, but it wasn't. He didn't. I don't know. I don't. Like I said, if you're a defensive guy, good luck.
It is. It's starting to become a real issue. It really is. These defensive guys, only one, Raheem Morris, so far out of the 4 or 5 that have been. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh's offense too. So yeah, just the one. What else do I have? Jeremy Fowler, man, he knows how to ruin my day. He put out there that the Steelers might be interested in re-signing Levi Wallace, and I was like, I almost threw up in my Cheerios this morning. I'm like, no, we can't do this. You can't do this to me.
Oh yeah, they can and they will. I told you.
And Jeremy Fowler's got connections. He was a Steelers guy for ESPN. He covered the Steelers for them, so he's still got connections down here. So who knows? God damn it,
dude! They like him. Like
what do they see, Dave? What do they see in this man? He can't cover. He can't tackle. What are we doing? It would be cheap. I'll give you that.
I was gonna go there. I was gonna say it's gonna be nice, cheap. And dude, if he's a Tomlin guy, if Tomlin really likes him, he's gonna want to keep him around. So I don't know. It's tough.
All right. Couple more things here. Mike Mitchell, the old Steeler safety, is no longer employed by the Colts. Maybe he takes Gerald Alexander's spot as a DB's coach or assistant DB's coach. That's a possibility. I guess he's still pretty close with Mike Tomlin.
I mean, we love to bring in ex Steelers. We love to do that stuff. So, and I'm not against it at all.
No, I wasn't a big fan of Mitchell as a player, but I'm sure he's a fine coach.
I felt really bad because I shit on him pretty good. And then when I found out that he had really bad injuries that season that he played through his last season with the Steelers, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I didn't realize he had so many bad injuries. So, then I kind of, I gave a pass then. But I don't know.
He was famous for doing dumb shit though, too. Taking dumb penalties.
He did.
Drove me crazy.
Yeah, he did do some stuff that was dumb. There was that time for him and Leonard Fournette were just calling at each other during the play.
Yeah,
and then
he was an emotional guy out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. You're definitely right though. I remember that, and it was frustrating.
All right, we're gonna do a segment every pod for the next couple of weeks. State of the Steelers. We'll take a position group and give you who's here, who's gone, who may be gone, and we'll go over a few free agents, draft picks that could end up in that spot. This week we're going to do the secondary. Let me take up my list here and see. The Steelers currently have Minkah Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr., Darius Rush, Corey Trice, Patrick Peterson, Keanu O'Neal, and DeMonte Casey under contract in the secondary. Free agents are Levi Wallace, Miles Killebrew, James Pierre, Chandon Sullivan, and Elijah Riley. Of the guys staying, man, I don't know. Besides Minkah Fitzpatrick and Joey Porter Jr., obviously.
Yeah.
Darius Rush and Corey Trice, fine. Bring them back.
Oh, I for me personally,
they're coming back.
I think Trice is automatic.
Yeah. So is Rush. He doesn't cost you anything.
I want to keep Rush. Yeah. If you can just keep him on the practice squad, but he can get signed off of that thing. Yeah. So that's the only thing.
For now, till actually the season starts, I think they have a 90-man roster. So he's on the roster until they start doing cuts. So he's fine.
He is that guy where I really get excited about that trio of him, Joey, and Trice, because that's a definite guy that I'm not letting go of.
I think Keanu O'Neal and DeMonte Casey, I think we talked about this last week, they're probably gone. I mean, they need to do better at safety. They need to do better at safety. They can't.
Yeah, I thought they both were reliability. Keanu O'Neal looks slow as shit.
He's done. He's going to retire.
I wasn't impressed at all. KZ definitely regressed. Like the KZ from last year was not the KZ this year. And I mean, honestly, dude, I thought Eric Rowe played way better.
That's a guy you might want back.
Yeah,
that's a guy you might want back.
I'm going to him right now. Like, what's your price? What do you think? Like, that guy showed up and looked better off the street than they did.
Yeah.
So
you're absolutely right. I don't know what they think about Eric Rowe. He's not on a contract, so they'll have to bring him back. He won't cost much. As a fourth safety, backup safety, I would be very happy with Eric Rowe back there. And then this is a Joey Porter Jr. question. What do you do? Not Joey Porter Jr. Patrick Peterson question. What do we do with Patrick Peterson and his $11 million cap hit? You cannot keep him.
$11 million.
Let me look that up for sure. But I think you save $9 million if you cut him. If you keep him,
that's a substantial amount of money.
Yes, sir. For a guy who is going to be your third corner at best or your backup safety.
Well, I mean, that could be the route they go, though, dude. He could get bumped to safety with Minkah, and that might be their just go-to with him.
Yeah, but we saw what he looked like at safety, dude. He was terrible.
Did you really think so? I mean, tackling, yeah.
Those missed tackles, yeah. Well,
but I mean, his coverage and safety in Minka's spot, I thought was pretty well. Didn't he do well? I thought he did well. Or I could have sworn there was a time frame where he did a lot better, and then he went to shit again in the playoffs. Really,
he's a $9 million cap hit. You save $7 million if you cut him.
7.
So
it could happen. I mean, if they draft one high, maybe then they, it just depends on, like, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm guessing you'd probably automatically cut him.
I would cut him.
Cut him.
Yeah, I don't see any, unless he's willing to restructure his contract and go down to $2 or $3 million for next year. Then because the leadership stuff, maybe you bring him back. You can use him maybe as a slot. I don't even know how to use him, honestly. I didn't. It comes back to that conversation. Do you want Minkah Fitzpatrick as a strong safety at the line? Because the only place that Patrick Peterson can really play as safety is free.
Yeah.
Or do you want to get a strong safety and leave Minkah Fitzpatrick where he's at his best as a roaming safety, the joker position, creating havoc, being all over the field? That's what you want, Minkah.
I missed that, Minkah. Yeah. That was so.
You can't have your all-star safety averaging 100 tackles a season.
Yep. And this
is what happens. He got hurt.
And we haven't got to see Minkah be Minkah in a while. It's been like 3 years. Like it's been way too long.
You're going to hear a lot from me. I want to see the Steelers go out and get a strong safety in free agency, a veteran, strong safety, so that we can put Minka Fitzpatrick back. You don't have to
I
spend a
mean,
fortune.
some of
Safety's
them are
not
out
bad.
there. I mean,
There's, you want to get into a few here?
yeah, go ahead. Because I saw him. I was like, oh, okay. But go ahead.
My guy that I really like is Kyle Duggar from the Patriots. That's the perfect guy. He's like a linebacker. He's not the greatest in pass coverage, but a physical guy, hits people.
Yeah.
I don't know what his, I got to study up what the safeties are going to be paid. I don't know if he'll be out of their price range, but safeties tend not to get paid that well. So we'll see. That's the guy I've zeroed in on who I want from the Steelers. There's a lot of good safeties out there. Antoine Winfield,
Oh,
Xavier
dude.
McKinney,
Geno Stone is a free agent.
Jordan Whitehead,
PJ
another
Locke.
guy. Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of guys here that
And safeties don't get paid, so you could probably get.
They don't. They're not.
Safety.
You don't break the bank with these guys unless they're like top tier. So yeah, I'd be fine with them going after any of those guys. I don't know how much it'd be because right now they gotta get under the cap.
Yeah, they're over right now.
Yeah,
I had said 13 million over, but now people are saying it's up to 17 million over the cap. So
yeah, it's tough. Now they're getting lucky. I think the cap's supposed to get bumped up pretty good.
yeah,
Again,
but I think that's taken in consideration what the cap might be. You might get a couple million extra, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, short of that, I've been listening to some draft guys lately, and it seems like it's a real thin safety class this year. There's not a lot of first round talent.
Yep.
So I'd go the free agent route. I mean, worst case scenario, do you go back and get Terrell Edmonds to go play strong safety?
I don't hate it. It got brought up on Twitter, and I don't hate it at all.
I don't
He's
hate
going to be cheap. Him and Minka do well together.
Yep.
He was the good third tackling linebacker.
Yep.
Really. I thought his last season with us, he did really well. He get exposed sometimes in coverage, a little bit, but most of the time, that last season with us, he did well. And like I said, him and Minka worked well together.
Yeah,
so
Minka had his best seasons opposite Terrell Edmonds.
So if they could make a pretty sneaky move bringing him back. I just thought it was kind of strange that, like, I don't know if he wants to come back to the Steelers, to be honest with you.
Well,
because he did not take a lot of money to go to Philadelphia.
Yeah, he didn't get paid a lot of money. Period. They ended up getting traded, right?
They got traded to the Titans. Yeah,
the Titans.
So to me, it felt more like he was ring searching, going to Philly for low money, and then got turned around, and got put on a 5-11 team. So.
I don't know. As far as cornerbacks go, let's look at the free agents, the cornerbacks. It's just two big ones that everyone talks about. Let me pull up my list here. Jalen Johnson from the Bears. He was connected at the trade deadline to the Steelers. That I think the Steelers actually made offers to try to get him. And L'Jarius Sneed from the Chiefs. Those are the two big ones. I don't know how much money the Steelers are going to have to go out. A top of the market corner is going to cost you $20 million a season. I don't know if that's doable.
I looked at this list and I was like, I was thinking of Stephen Gilmore, but then I saw he's 33, 35.
Yeah.
I was like, I already, I thought that Pat P would be okay at that age, and I was wrong. So
Gilmore had a decent season, but he could fall off the cliff at any second.
Yeah,
I'd be worried about that.
With our luck, he would go to the Steelers and fall off at that very second. Yes. So I was just like, I don't know. There's a Dory Jackson.
Yeah.
But he might be. I don't know how much he'd cost. Steven Nelson would never come back to us. He hates us for cutting him.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Rock Ya-Sin, Taya.
Yeah, not a fan.
What?
He's all right.
On the Ravens defense, he's done well.
Everyone does well on the Ravens defense. It seems
like. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he'd be all right. I like Kendall Fuller.
I'm talking about guys that are going to be affordable. Like,
you have to go.
Yeah. They're not going to be able to get Ronald Darby, another guy from Baltimore. That's a solid corner.
Yep.
But not going to break the bank. Hey, I'm sorry. These are guys that are going. They're one win away from the Super Bowl, Dave. Yep. So they must be doing something right.
Yep. You're right.
Eli Apple. I don't know if but he's kind of a bonehead, so I don't know if I want to go that route either. Fabian Moreau.
I've always liked him. He tested really well. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not great at cornerback because he hasn't been able to break through. Yeah. Kendall Fuller from the Commanders. I keep saying Redskins.
Yeah.
Had an 83 PFF grade this season, which is very good. A couple interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he might cost you a little bit because he's like the third guy.
Market value, $14 million.
14 million.
Yeah. No, he was one of the ones that I honed in on because I was like,
that's more of a little bit affordable than the two big guys. The two big guys are going to make 20 million a season.
So Adoree Jackson was 11.3 million, but his contract before that, holy crap! What the hell did it give me? Oh, I skipped it. Yeah, market value 11.3 million, 45 million over 4 years is what they're predicting.
He's not that good.
I think that's a little too high for him. Yeah, I don't think I'd go that route.
And he's small, right? Isn't he like a very short corner?
Yeah, he's not a big guy.
Feels like they're long.
Man, you got Jeff Okudah. How you say it? Okudah?
Okudah, yep. Oh, actually, he's a high draft pick too, right?
But I'm gonna look up his. They got his market value. He might be 14.7 million. Yeah,
Adoree Jackson had a 48.6 PFF grade this year. Not good, Chuck. Not good.
Yikes! Who had that? Who was it?
Adoree Jackson.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, they'd have to find that sweet spot, and I don't think they can afford Jalen Johnson either, dude. No. He's got what?
No,
did you see his
million a season?
Yeah, his market value is 15.7 million.
Oh, geez, is his market value more than that?
No, but still, it's too steep for the Steelers.
Yeah,
it just is.
Yeah, it is. Cornerbacks. We talked about it in the last pod. It's probably the position you should draft because it's so expensive.
Yep.
And the free agent,
Yeah, this is probably why they're going to bring back Wallace. They're going to sign Wallace cheap and draft one. And that's they're going to slow play it like they did with Joey. Or they think they got something with Trice and I just couldn't trust it. My guy had knee issues and what happened? Busted his knee. So, and I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player. I'm not saying that. But at the same time,
it's a long shot, Dave. Let's be honest.
It's
a long shot that he becomes.
And I hate to, beat a dead horse here, but it's just like with Kenny and all his injuries. It's the same. It's the same thing. You're just like, shit, man. How many times are you going to get injured? They took a shot on this kid in the 7th round.
7th round. That's why he lasted so long.
And he can be good. He looked great in college. You just can't stay healthy. But I think that's why they're going to take Wallace. I'm sorry, bring Wallace back is probably why you're hearing those rumors, and they're going to go draft one. That's what I think they're going to do. Now, what round? That's debatable, and we have plenty of time to debate that.
Yeah, we got time to look at corners and stuff. There's a lot of good ones.
But when you look at these free agents, you're just like, shit. It's either go get the shitty guy or pay a premium for a good one. Like you're not going to to me, like I told you, Ronald Darby, solid. Rock Ya-Sin, solid. Yeah. They're solid. They're not your top tier, but they're probably not going to cost you an arm and a leg. That's
Sean Murphy-Bunting too. I looked at he's going to be in that mid tier. He's a pretty good, decent corner too.
Oh, let me see with Witherspoon. Witherspoon's now.
I was going to bring up Ahkello Witherspoon.
his annual projection is now 10.2 million.
There's no way.
10.2 million. You don't realize how good he did.
He did very well with the Rams. He did go.
So, can you explain to me that again? This goes back to coaching. Another one that left the Steelers. He went to McVay, and McVay fucking fixed him.
Raheem Morris.
And it's like, son of a bitch. Like, I'm just sick of these guys leaving, going to the Rams, and Rams being like, yeah, we got him. We fixed them. Like,
yeah, so why don't we hire one of those coaches to come over here and fix some of our problems? That would be nice.
So yeah, I didn't think he'd be that much, but he did well enough.
He'll be that much. That seems steep. Even
but you're going off of what we got from him last year, and it wasn't much. So
the first 8 games he played for us, maybe he was that kind of corner. He played very well until he got injured, right? And then it kind of fell off after.
Well, the year he only played 5 games, he did well.
Yes, that's right.
After that, you're right. He was horrendous. So, let me see Eli Apple. I'm not really an Eli Apple fan.
No, I'm not either. He's a knucklehead.
But only 3.7 million annual salary.
Well, now you might be talking.
I mean, that's a guy that if something would happen where Wallace got offered more money somewhere else and he just said, nope, I'm out. There's a guy maybe they go after.
It's possible. He's experienced,
like I said,
for sure.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing. Like I said, it's the jump in money is too far between.
Corner's an expensive position.
They are
a premier position.
It's almost like if they either have to suck or not. They can only suck or they're really good. It's one of that other.
Yep.
So I don't
know. As far as draft goes, we'll have a lot of time to talk about the draft, but there's 4 guys that could go in the first round that I'm seeing so far. This Cooper DeJean kid from Iowa is really, I want to watch him because he's really interesting. He's a track champion, basketball player, really good for Iowa, had a lot of picks, and he played special teams punt return too. So Terrion Arnold, cornerback for Alabama. He's supposed to be real physical, real good tackler, real good corner. Kool-Aid McKinstry, also from Alabama, first round guy. We talked about him last week. And then Nate Wiggins from Clemson. Not such a great tackle, but a real good corner from what I've read so far. So those are the 4 guys to keep an eye on if they go first round, which I think it makes a lot of sense. And we talked about this last week. I mean, you can get center in the second round. Could you get a right tackle in the second round? I don't know. Who knows what they're doing at tackle anyway, right? They keeping Dan Moore and then keep Broderick Jones at right tackle. I mean, who the fuck knows? So I don't know. It'll be interesting. This secondary should be a lot different next year than it was this year. It should be a lot of new names, a lot of new faces. Hopefully.
Yeah, dude. Are you looking at their comments? They're like off the rails. I have no idea what's going on.
I can't see the comments right now. They just.
I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. When you get a chance, go back and look.
So, yeah, I think this will be fun. We'll do each position group, one position group a week. We'll do linebackers, defensive line, offensive line, receivers and tight ends, and backs. And maybe we'll throw quarterback in with the backs, do it quick. Get us prepped for what should be a pretty interesting off season. I don't think I have anything else, Dave. It's kind of been a slow news week overall. You got anything else before we get out of here?
No, man, that's really it.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at SteelersSank16. Email the show at DAAVER@SteelersSanctuary.com. Check out that post I did at SteelersSanctuary.com, my blog. I think you guys will enjoy it. Subscribe, guys. Those subscriptions really, really help out the podcast. We really appreciate when you do that. Dave, give me your stuff and let's get out of here.
Yep, you can find me on X at DMC3SSP. You can find me on TikTok at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at SteelSancPod. Don't remember, guys, I got the sports books for you at signupexpert.com/nothingness.
All right. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.